Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon for our Parent Cafe. I hope you all have your lunches ready. I hope you all are prepared to receive some great information because today we have Reverend LisaAnn Willer, who is the patient navigator for the Georgia Department of Health Breast and Cervical Cancer Screening Program. She's also the field coordinator for the NBCC in South Carolina, and she's an ordained interfaith minister with Reds Branch Baptist Church here in Aiken, South Carolina. With no further ado, we will be presenting Miss LisaAnn Willer today to be speaking with us.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, my name is LisaAnn Wheeler. Great introduction. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to start right in with some facts about breast cancer in the United States. And apart from skin cancer, breast cancer is the most common cancer in women. Second leading cause of death in women in the United States after lung cancer. But I will say in the CSRA, it is the number one killer of women of color. And that is scary. And that's due to lots of barriers that we're trying to break down. Women of color are being diagnosed later, lots of times where it's spread metastatic, and a very difficult cancer to treat called triple negative. And we're really working on those numbers to get women of color in for their mammograms. Breast cancer deaths have decreased in the last decade due to improvements in both early detection and treatment. Lifetime risk is 1 in 8 women, which is a staggering number. Again, breast cancer is the most common cancer diagnosed. Estimated number of new breast cancer cases in 2021 was 8,770, and an estimated number of women that will die in Georgia, 1,410. And that's a number, if you think about every 13 minutes, a woman dies of metastatic breast cancer. How many symptoms of breast cancer are there? There actually are 12. So we are taught that it's just a lump, and there are 11 other symptoms of breast cancer. Now, because if you have one of these symptoms, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have breast cancer, but it's certainly something that you need to share with your primary care physician. I'd like to, at this time, to have you meet Angela Prince and Carolyn Bird. They were going to share their testimonies.
Cancer in October of 2009. The diagnosis was a grade 3, stage 3 breast cancer that I found 5 months after a clean mammogram. I had chemo and radiation for a whole year, and that was just treatment. And then in 2013, I was not doing well from some of the medications from the chemotherapy. And at that time, I had gained over 30 pounds and had issues with osteoporosis. But then my prognosis changed when I learned the importance of putting whole food nutrition into my body, which was about flooding my body with lots of fruits and vegetables. And I also went vegan. So in 2013, by December 2013, I had lost the 30 pounds and erased the side effects of chemotherapy. Now, I was told that only 1 out of 5 women survive this type of cancer after 5 years. And I am 13 years out. And I really feel like the changes that I made in my nutrition, my exercise, my stress management, and my sleep has caused me to be able to say that I'm still here today and have changed my prognosis for the better. So I'm no longer surviving. I am a thriving breast cancer thriver. And thank you.
So, hello everybody. My name is Angela Prince. So my story began in 2015. I was working, had 3 kids I was taking care of, husband, very busy life. I was working like 50 plus hours a week. I was a manager, and I was taking care of about 75 employees, taking care of everybody else but myself, right? So I noticed a couple of signs of breast cancer. And, like LisaAnn said, we're always taught in school that there's a lump, but I didn't have a lump at first. I had about seven of the 12 signs of breast cancer. My right breast I had like orange peel skin. It was red and hot to touch. So I really just thought maybe I had like a little rash, and I kind of put off going to the doctor. So then I found a lump, which was very small. And in the span of a week, it was the size of orange. And I was like, I really need to go to the hospital and see what's going on. So I did get a biopsy done, and it came back that I was positive for breast cancer, and it had gone as far as stage 4. And it was very aggressive form of cancer that unfortunately, like Black women get like the most aggressive form of breast cancer, and we get it younger. And I was only 43 at the time when I was diagnosed. So yeah, it grew to the size of orange. It spread to 7 of my lymph nodes and spread to my lung. So I was diagnosed. I remember it went so fast. So I was diagnosed on a Wednesday. The next day I had to get my port in, and then that Friday I started chemo. I went through 16 rounds of chemo. I had to go through radiation. I did get a double mastectomy. So it took me a very long time to recover. You know, my hair fell out. I was sick all the time. I was very tired. And because I didn't get checked when I should have gotten checked, or, you know, if I would have known the signs and gotten checked earlier, I know my cancer wouldn't have progressed to stage 4, and I wouldn't have had to go through all that. I mean, I was, you know, very high risk of even losing my life at that point. But by the grace of God, I was saved. I really was. And my doctors and nurses were amazing people. They really, really helped me. And I still, because I was stage 4, I still go through treatment today. I go every 3 weeks. And I get Herceptin treatment in my port every 3 weeks. So I'm still have a long journey to go, but I'm telling you, it's nothing like it was. So I really urge everybody to get your mammograms. If you see any signs, get checked. Check yourself every month. Make sure you educate yourself on the signs of breast cancer, even if it's something little. And, I know like you're scared, and I was scared too to get checked, but just being scared shouldn't deter you from really taking care of yourself and focus on yourself, right? So as women, we always think about everybody else but ourselves sometimes, but really that's part of self-care. Like Carolyn, I explained to a group of women yesterday that us taking care of ourselves is self-care, and we really need to do that. But thank you.
Okay, let's take a look at risk factors. Will breast cancer be a problem for me? So there are risk factors that you cannot change. Getting older, just a fact of life. Genetic mutations, your reproductive history when you had your first child, having dense breast tissue, and personal history of breast cancer, certain non-cancerous breast diseases, family history of breast cancer or ovarian cancer, previous treatment using radiation therapy, and also women who took diethylstilbestrol when they were expecting. And I will say, going back to family history of breast cancer, 85% of the women that are diagnosed with breast cancer have no family history whatsoever. So it is a small number, but it's a history that you need to be aware of and bring to the attention of your primary care physician. And if you all want to snap a picture of this is a risk assessment form. It's very helpful. It just goes through some questions, and it's a great form to fill out and take to your annual exam. So risk factors that you can change: exercise, weight, taking hormones, reproductive history, drinking alcohol. Those are the things you do have some control over. And this is where Reduce Your Risk comes into play. It addresses those factors and much more. This is Carolyn's baby. This is her program that she started. It's a nonprofit that we all three of us are involved in. And she's going to tell you a little bit more about the things that you can do to reduce your risk of breast cancer.
So everybody talks about finding the cure, but what about Let's try to help prevent breast cancer. And that's how Reduce Your Risk got started, because we want you to reduce your risk of breast cancer and reduce your risk of breast cancer recurrence. So we came up with a program called the NEST program, which goes with the word awareness. So the NESS on the end of awareness. So the N is for nutrition. It's important that we put good nutrition into our bodies. So important to eat more fruits and vegetables, because that's what nourishes our body and give us the nutrients we need. E stands for exercise. It's important to exercise. Now, the best exercise that you do is the exercise that you will do. And we need to do about 20 minutes a day of good exercise, whether it's walking you enjoy, whether it's yoga, whatever it is that you will do. It's important that you do exercise. Exercise can reduce your risk of breast cancer and breast cancer recurrence. The other S is for stress management. We all have stress. So it's important for us to learn to manage that stress. If we don't manage our stress, it causes inflammation in our body, causes us to have so many issues. And we go to the doctor and they can't find anything wrong. And that's because it's stress. So we learn to manage that stress. It will decrease the inflammation in your body, which can help reduce your risk of breast cancer and other diseases. And then the other S is for sleep. It's so important for us to get sleep, because that's when our body heals itself. That's when our liver is healing our body. And if we don't get enough sleep, then our body can't be, we'll still have toxins floating around in our body. So it's important that we try to go to bed before midnight. I know it's hard for some, but going to bed before midnight, actually for every hour of sleep you get before midnight counts as 2 hours of sleep. So if you go to bed at 10, by 12, that counts as 4 hours of sleep. And then by 5 or 6, you end up waking up energetic, having lots of energy, because you want to make sure that your liver is detoxed. And so important that we follow these 4 pillars of health that we talk about: nutrition, exercise, stress management, and sleep. Thank you.
So we're going to watch a short video about symptoms and breast checks.
Hi, I'm the mayor of Lemonland, and I'm here to help you know your lemons with my friend, Mona Lisa.
I've been checking my lemons for 500 years and have a lot to tell you. A cancerous lump is a lot like a lemon seed because it often feels hard and immovable. It can be any shape or size. This is the lump you investigate. There are 2 innocent lumps to know. One lump feels like a soft pea. These are your milk lobes, normal. Another lump feels like a soft bean. These are your lymph nodes, also normal. But you need to know how to feel around for these good and not so good lumps. Mayor, do your thing.
Thanks, Mona. Use your 3 middle fingers in circular or up and down motions. Use 3 levels of pressure: light, medium, then deep enough to fill your ribs. Also, fill under the nipple. You need to cover an area that includes your lymph nodes. So, start in your armpit, then to your collarbone, and finally work your way down to the bottom of your ribs. Use 2 positions. 1, lay down with your arm behind your head. This flattens everything. 2, bend forward. This brings everything to the front. Finally, look for changes in front of a mirror. Move your arms up and down and turn to the side. See if the whole breast skin moves with you as you move your arms.
And look for these changes.
Because a lump is not the only sign.
Grazie, Mayor. The best time to feel around is 3 days after the end of your period, when everything is most normal. No period? Pick any day you like, consistently each month. Your risk increases with age, so stick with it. I've been checking my lemons, but it's not enough. I also get regular mammograms, because a mammogram can find a cancerous lump before it can be felt. Just look at my hand to learn the difference. This is the average size of a lump found by accident. A lump through self-exam. A lump found with 1 mammogram. But with several mammograms to compare changes, the lump can be the smallest. If cancer is present in the breast, 8 times out of 10, a mammogram can find it. But if the results come back normal and you're still concerned about something, or if you're too young mammogram, ask about an ultrasound if you have a specific lump in mind, or get a new view with an MRI. But the only way to determine if it's cancer is to actually look at the cells, which is through a biopsy. Most lumps turn out to be fine, so don't panic if you need to check it out to be sure. Trust your instincts and know your options. When breast cancer is found early, survival rates are very high. Knowing that I've educated you makes me smile.
Share this app with a friend today at knowyourlemons.com.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about my program, the Breast and Cervical Cancer Screening Program. It is for women who are uninsured, underinsured, and low income. We bring them into the health department. They have a comprehensive annual exam covering PAP and HPV testing, clinical breast exam, and 40 or over, they will be referred for a mammogram. And here's the breakdown. Uninsured, underinsured, and the financial requirements are 200% of the federal poverty level or below. Biological females, transgender females, and 40 to 64 years old will be a mammogram referral. Under 40, if a patient has an issue, they're feeling something, then we will send them for an ultrasound to start with. So in summary, it is easier to treat breast cancer when it's found early. So that's where breast self-exams and mammograms come into play. Regular mammograms can find breast cancer very early, as was depicted in the video that we saw. And breast cancer risk can be reduced by being physically active, maintaining a healthy weight, reducing your alcohol use, getting enough sleep, and reducing stress, as Carolyn shared with us. So I'm just wondering if y'all have any questions for myself or for Carolyn. Actually had to sneak up, but Angela is still here. So are there any questions that we can answer for you regarding breast health, mammograms, the BCCP program?
Well, I will start off asking what exactly the BCCP, that's the breast cervical program.
Yes, breast and cervical cancer screening program. That's through the Georgia Department of Public Health. And as I said, that is for women who are uninsured, underinsured. And there's a financial cap of 200% of the federal poverty level or below.
Okay. And so because cervical cancer is in there, is that another cancer that is high within our region as well? Is why, you have a specific program for it?
Yes. So like I shared, we do a comprehensive exam under the BCCP. We will do PAP, HPV, and STD testing. Very important. Cervical cancer is completely preventable by vaccine. It's the only vaccine that actually prevents cancer, is the HPV vaccine. And that is for young people between the ages of 9 and 12. It can be started then. There's a series of 3 vaccinations. And screening is super important for cervical cancer. Most women at some point during their lives do have the human papillomavirus, but it usually clears the body itself. But there are strains, particularly 16 and 18, that do cause cervical cancer. So we want to be screening and testing for HPV. And if our patient is found to have a positive PAP and positive for HPV, we'll do a colposcopy under the program, and that is covered too. So that's the one unique thing about our program, that we don't just, if someone is found, if a mammogram is quote unquote positive and needs diagnostic or ultrasound and so forth, we cover all of that too. Just like if your PAP and HPV is positive, we will cover your colposcopy.
Okay. That is one of the amazing things, because sometimes you go to the doctor and get screened, and then they give you these results, and then you're left like, okay, so what's next? Like, where do I turn to? Where do I go? And so you all are like a all in all. Y'all screen, and if something is found, you provide options for treatment as well.
Absolutely. That's I have phone calls from women before, gone for their mammogram, and there's an issue, and they cannot afford the diagnostics and the ultrasound and, you know, God forbid, biopsy too. I mean, those are all very expensive procedures, and we do cover them. As long as a woman qualifies, if she's eligible, we will cover those services.
Mhm. And so just to reiterate again, the Know Your Lemons, that is an app.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's the app. And
It's
that
a
is very beneficial because in all of my 37 years, I've only known of the one way to check for breast cancer. I didn't know it was, 12, a total of 12 ways to check.
12 signs.
12
Absolutely.
signs. Yes.
Women have no idea. And I'm looking over at Angela because Angela had 7 signs. This is a very smart woman, you know, but it wasn't a lump. We're taught a lump, and that's all we're taught. And you can explain away different things, your bra, skin irritation, things like that. But they are signs of breast cancer. But like I said, just because you have one of those signs does not mean you have breast cancer, but it needs to be looked at by a healthcare professional.
Right. Absolutely. And in your professional opinion, what would be a reason as to why? Because in the beginning, you said in African American women, the numbers are much higher. Is it, because of the lack of health care or
Mhm.
the fear factor of going to the doctor? Because I know sometimes within our community, we'll sit with things and sit with illnesses like I'm scared about what the doctor may say, so I'm not going to go, and we wait too long.
Oh,
And
absolutely. Fear is huge. I have had women sit in my office scared to death to have a mammogram. And I remember one particular patient, her mother had complained about her mammogram every year, so much so she was scared to death to go get her mammogram, the fear of the pain that it was going to cause her. And we just had to really break that all down and talk about that. And she went for her mammogram, and it wasn't anywhere near what she pictured it was going to be. But
okay,
there are barriers. There are barriers. And I always say, that a woman does not care about a mammogram if she is not able to put food on the table, if she is not able to clothe her children. I mean, I
right,
have resources for those things too. We address the whole woman. I mean,
okay,
healthcare is paramount. Of course, you can't take care of anyone else unless you take care of yourself. But
right,
there's things that we need to address, and transportation's a big issue too. And in my more rural counties, it still is a big issue. In
hmm
Richmond County, I'm very fortunate. I'm able to use Uber Health to get patients to the health department and to their mammograms. But outside of that, we're still working on that. That's tough.
okay. And so that is an option. The Uber, you said the Uber
Uber
Health.
Health, yes, for
Yes.
women that are eligible for my program. Yes, I have that
Yes.
availability.
And
Mhm.
all of this stuff is available for with say the word.
Eligibility.
And
If
yes,
a woman is eligible,
sometimes I get
yes.
tongue tied. I can't say some
Mhm.
words, okay? But as long as they're eligible, these services are available to them.
Yeah,
And how
absolutely.
do we go about pushing this information out into the community?
I do a lot of outreach. I was at
Okay.
an event last night. I do a
Okay.
lot of outreach, just really a lot of community partners that know about the program.
Mhm.
And Angela, what else can you,
Yeah. So, and we have other events that we organize too, to bring awareness. We do just reach out to the news a lot.
yeah, we do a
We're
lot of news bites and things
reporting.
like that,
Yep. Yep.
and newspapers and
Mhm.
trying to just get the
Trying to
information.
get the word out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And great
And I
partners like yourself. That's
Yes,
huge right
definitely.
there.
Right, right,
Right.
absolutely. Because I've seen you at a few vendoring events
Yeah, just about
myself.
everyone. Yeah.
Yes,
It
yes,
goes with the territory.
right.
Good thing I love people.
Yes, but I mean, that's big
Mm,
because, we need you. We need y'all. We need this information. Our
Mhm.
community needs this information because, like you said, what if, you early detection is top tier. And so if we can find out early, find out what these lumps or these other symptoms and stuff is early, we can, prolong a lifespan and just bring
absolutely.
awareness. And then just like with anything, when people find out early, word of mouth is everything. And so they get to the point, it's like, have you, once they've gotten, checked, they talk to their friends and their families and everything,
Mhm.
and asking
Mhm.
them, have they been checked? And this is the process. It's not as bad as, we may have thought it was. And so it becomes a ripple effect within our community. I see somebody
Yeah,
says, what
I'm
about
looking at
men?
that too. What about men? Very, very true. 4,500 men die of breast cancer every year.
Hmm.
It is not talked about. Now, of course, my program is strictly for women and mammograms, but when we are out, we do address that with men. They should be doing breast self exams too. And it's always like, what? Like, yes, you have breast tissue. It can happen. Hmm.
Yep. And so, well, your program, so is there any other programs that you know of in the community that's geared towards men
For as far as for breast
for
cancer,
breast cancer
honestly, it's just we do education is what the
education?
piece that we do.
Okay.
With the Know Your Lemons, it doesn't matter if you're. It's obviously geared towards a female, but anyone can do the breast self exams, and it's very, very well explained. When you go on the app, it'll show you exactly what to do, and if you have any questions, call me.
Mhm.
And it will help you set up. So every month on my phone, it pops up and it says time to check your lemons.
Okay.
So you can't deny it. It's on your phone. It's not going to let you
Right.
forget it. And it's really important. I cannot, if there's just one thing that y'all leave with today is you must do your breast self exams every single month. If you know the territory, you're going to know if something comes up that has not been there. And you
Right.
know you need to see your healthcare professional.
Right. And then for, women that's under 40, what were the, if we find something, what were those options that,
So yeah,
we,
and this has happened in my program many times. Women come in, they have an issue, they're under 40. We will do a clinical breast exam, and if we deem it necessary, we'll send them for an ultrasound. If more is deemed necessary, then we'll do a diagnostic mammogram down the line. And we leave that up to the radiologist. So
okay.
they perform the ultrasound and they think that, oh gosh, we need to take a look at this further, then they'll do a diagnostic mammogram under our program.
Oh, okay. Under your
Mhm.
program.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Well, that is awesome. I'm so thankful. And then I seen a comment earlier as well that said thank the two young ladies that shared their testimonies and their journeys, because we need to see it, we need to hear it, we need to know that there is survival and thriving. Like,
Mhm.
not a once you find out, it's not an end all,
Mhm.
Yeah,
type
I
of.
hope we scared you. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's
I
my
want
scare
to,
tactic.
yeah, those are Angela. We want to scare you
Yeah.
into taking care of
Yeah.
yourself. So you're
Right.
not diagnosed. You're not my 10th woman that's
Mhm.
diagnosed at 37 years old with
Mhm.
metastatic breast cancer.
Right.
Talking about a woman
Absolutely.
of color that just know and not listen to, you
Oh,
know.
and then my doctor told me if I would have gotten this cancer just 2 years earlier, he would have just been like, "There's nothing I can do for you."
Wow.
Yeah. So early detection is the key.
Absolutely.
Wow. Do you refer out for counseling services if it's needed?
Absolutely. We have contacts for, yes. There's an amazing network in this area in the CSRA for just about anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's something we're going to do too.
Right.
That is awesome. And so a total one-stop shop.
It really is. It really is. I mean, and if I can't answer it, I will do my darndest to find someone that can.
Yes, and so we appreciate the work that you all are doing. We appreciate all the efforts. We appreciate you being out in the community, spreading this knowledge, accepting the invitation of coming on this platform to, to reach more. And I just pray that people take heed to all of the information that y'all are pushing out into the communities that you're sharing, so we can do prevention.
Mhm.
We can do prevention, reducing the risk, or if we do find ourselves in that situation, how we know that we can thrive and we can live after a diagnosis. So I thank
Absolutely.
you all for everything that you do.
Oh,
Thank
thank you for having me and
You are
us,
welcome.
Angela, Carolyn.
Yes,
So
thank
good.
y'all.
And our information, you will have our information available so that people can contact us.
Yes.
Rockin'.
Yep. We'll have
Fabulous.
your information. We'll blast it out into the community.
Awesome.
Yep. Thank you all so much for discussing this topic, and thank
Thank
you as
you.
well to everyone who shared. But yeah, well, that is it. That's all. Yeah, that's it, Miss Lisa
Okay.
Ann.
Wow. That was awesome.
Yes. And so I pray that you have a great day.
Yes, you
Continue
too.
to rock out, continue to do the things that you're that you do out here
Likewise.
in this world. And
Likewise.
we will talk to you later.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Patrice. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.